Go.
Hello, my name is Maria, and I've been Albert's friend since third grade, and it's been a tough, several years. But through that, I've learned a lot about him.
Okay, now that you heard my views on diversity, what strengths do you think I would bring to my role as a teacher?
Well, Albert's very diverse in the sense that he's both a Mexican American man and that he's also gay. And I believe that that brings a lot to the teaching community because we were used to a bunch of white teachers that couldn't even speak to our parents. And it's good that he's bilingual and that he can, understand different points of view that aren't just the normal in a sense.
Okay, describe any past experience where I dealt with challenging situations regarding some aspects of my own diversity.
Well, so far he's been able to deal with everything with such a great smile. Like it can be tough coming out, and he still did it during high school. Even though we were surrounded by a lot of people that weren't very understanding of that or very supportive, he was just able to be like, you know what, like what's the point of hiding my identity? And that feels like that has helped him like evolve more as a person because more and more he just keeps coming out of his shell, and that has helped him be like the best person he can be. Albert has also had to deal with some very big religious issues. For example, like he was a Catholic for the majority of his life. But with that comes the responsibility of knowing that who you are is a sin. That's what we're taught, that, if you like the same gender or if you do certain things, that you are a sin and you're just a sinner and that's just how you're going to stay unless you change to what they believe is correct. Albert, he was so involved with the church that he would even go to Bible studies. And he decided that it was just the best thing to do, despite his family being a very big part of the church. Like they were involved with, talking to the church community a lot. They would even travel sometimes, just for the church reasons. And for him, that was a very big problem he had to deal with because they didn't accept him, and he wasn't out yet. So how is he gonna deal with such a big burden of having people that you really like, but knowing that they'll secretly hate you if you come out for who you really are. But he said, like I am who I am, and if they love me, they will, and if they don't, then that's on them, because it would be their loss. Like he's a really great person, and despite all of the being scared and not knowing what to do, like he just decided to leave the church, and of course, like that's still very. I feel like that's very that loses a big part of your identity because it was your whole life, and it's a big step. But with that, it's been giving him room to grow even more. This language, it's like he speaks Spanish, but it's not that good. It's a little broken, but it's understandable. It's just that he could get bullied by it, by like native speaking Mexicans, and I feel like that has been an issue for him. But he always deals with it with like a laugh or a smile, and that always kind of breaks the tension. And I feel like that's such a great like attitude to have towards it. And then to him, like he's still a real Mexican, like even though he was born here. And I feel like that's an important identity issue to have, an important identity mindset to have, because it can be very confusing at times.
Knowing me and my personality, how do you think I will deal with future issues or challenges around race and diversity as a teacher?
Well, Albert's never been one to kind of cast anybody out. He's always very inclusive, like ask everyone, even friends of friends. He's like invite them, or like we should talk or something like that. He's always been posting, on social media about social issues that he really cares about. For example, Black Lives Matter. He's been very open about it. He's been open about like supporting the LGBTQ plus community, and very open about just any social issue that he finds very important. And even though there are people that have very, very different mindsets to him, he's never been one to attack anyone. He's just like, okay, then I'm just going to stay away from that person, because he deals with things in a peaceful way. And I feel like that's very important to teach children, because children don't understand like what's right and what's wrong and how they should react to things. And since he deals with things so like neutrally but positive, if he feels good about it, it could teach them, even if they have very different views, to teach people with respect, despite what they view and what they feel.
What qualities do I have that would make me a good teacher?
Wow, you're very patient, you're kind, you're caring, you're responsible, which makes you a very good example for them. And you've also dealt with a lot. You've struggled through it all. Like you've literally like just worked through everything, and right now you're going through a really fast-paced course. So I feel like that's gonna bring out the tougher in you, and they're gonna really appreciate that because you're just very polite, and you'll teach them how to love each other because you're very loving too.
Perfect. We're done.